Ladies and gentlemen, would you please put your hands together, because you're about to get a little bit of a unique message here. And you're going to see exactly what it takes to make it rain. Please welcome Mr. Ed Robinson.
Can you hear the thunder? Can you see the clouds? Can you smell the rain? There's a storm coming in your life. It's going to be storming new prospects, new business, bigger commissions. Are you ready for the rain? Are you ready to make it rain in your organization? How many of you have never heard of the concept of rainmaking? Just work with me here. How many of you have not heard that concept before, rainmaking? See, rainmaking is the Native American Indian. It comes from that term where the Native American Indian, when they were having trouble with water and rain, and they needed somebody to come out and dance, and they would come out and dance, and the sky would open up, and all of a sudden you had rain on your crops. Another definition is most professional service organizations have, let's say, 1 or 2 professionals that they call rainmakers in that organization that will go out, make revenue, and basically bring in enough business for everyone else to work on and focus on. My definition of rainmaking is quite simple. My definition for each and every one of you as a rainmaker is simply, I want you to take a proactive role in making it rain in your business. One of the things I think about rainmaking is you need to have a process. You need to have a pattern. You need to have formulas so that you can grow your organization. And I want to share with you quite a few of those formulas. And I'm going to start off, quite frankly, with one of my favorite quotes in the belief system. There's a quote that I use that says, individuals carry their success and their failure with them. It does not depend on outside conditions. And by the way, I love that quote. When you have 25 minutes, one of the things I love doing is having my audience say, okay, do we embrace that quote? And I ask them, to what percentage do they actually embrace that quote? In essence, what it's saying is, to what degree do you take total responsibility for the things that happen in your life? To what degree do you say that I'm in charge of the successes as well as the failures? To what degree am I accountable and take ownership of the lessons that my customers teach me on a day-to-day basis? I'm always looking for definitions of success. My favorite definition of success comes from a Chinese proverb. It says, true measure of success is how your grandchildren turn out. And it has a subtitle that says, because grandchildren and grandparents have a common enemy. Some of y'all are relating really quick on that. There's some reasons why we have to do what we do. I have in front of you a chart that is the rainmaking model. So I'm going to go ahead and hit some of the highlights here of this rainmaking thing, starting off with the very first one up there, which is setting goals. So when I look at these 5 things that you need to do to be a successful rainmaker, the first one is setting your goals. The second one is having a good marketing strategy that is compliant to achieving those goals. Then how do you make it rain? What is that process you do in front of people? I'm going to tell you something. The 10 things that I'm going to share with you that your customers are telling us that are keeping you from hearing a yes are all under how we're presenting to them on a day-to-day basis. Let me give you an accountant's perspective as it relates to not only setting your goals, but actually what activity do we need to do to get those goals. When I first started my first business, we started out and we went to 25 businesses every month. 25 businesses a day. And we would visit 25 businesses. That's 125 a week. That's 500 a month. 500 a month gave us about 15 appointments. 15 appointments brought us in 3.7 new pieces of business every month. So when you write down your number, do you know how much activity is necessary for you to undergo for you to accomplish those numbers? For instance, you should know to make 100,000, we need to make 8,300 every month. So in my mind, I'm saying, okay, if I have to make 8,300 this month, I need to know, how do I break that down to a weekly activity? To make 2,100, how many sales do I have to have? How do I back into that number? And those of you who are at $1 million, we know that's 83,000 a month. How are we going to, how many houses do we have to deal with? How many houses do we have to close to have 21,000 every week? And back into that activity. And that was many years ago, some 20 years ago, when we first started backing into our numbers and actually starting to accomplish those goals. And when we start backing into that, we started finding out some unique things. Things start happening. We start hitting those numbers because we're actually working towards accomplishing those tasks. To make it rain, there's 3 areas that you really have to be focusing on making it rain at all times. 1, our marketing. We have to do it with our advertising as well as our presentations. And because I like acronyms, I use making it rain. That makes sense, doesn't it? Just a 4-step process to make it bring in new business. I'm going to tell you some things that customers are saying we need to do during that process. Some specific things that we may not be doing. So under our Make It Rain, we want to build rapport, ask the right questions, implement solutions, and negotiate what is that next step. Where are we going to go from here? Those things become critical as we're moving forward. Here you'll see that we've got not only the rapport building and the asking questions, but under the rapport is how much homework are we doing ahead of time? Do we know what our ideal client is? How much time have we spent profiling who will we not deal with? When you looked at that whole chart, I went through the first 3, setting goals, marketing, and a sales strategy. You also have to have a customer service strategy, which was number 4. Number 5 is a full pipeline. With our pipeline, we do things like we want to find out whether we're dealing with ducks, deers, or dinosaurs. That brings me to the very first thing that your customers are asking of you. One of the first one is we need, as sales warriors, to educate our customers a lot better. We have to take time to actually work with the prospect and tell them how our products and services, how our homes are going to help satisfy some of their goals. For instance, sales winners educated buyers almost 3 times more often and more effective than second-place finishers. It became critical that we did that. And how do you do it? I've got 4 ways. Provide them new ideas, give them some best practices, share with them some of the things that other people are doing, share with them some of the things that you're seeing. The next one, asking questions. This is kind of a basic thing, but it's something that I really wanted you to focus on. One of the things that I always try to get people to focus on is, you do want to find out what their needs are. You do want to find out what their fears are. You do want to take that time to find out what is their vision of success. What can they do to actually get from point A to point B so that you can kind of walk them through that process. And that's what's critical. So that brings up number 2. It becomes important that you start collaborating. Look at this, the percentage that's on this particular slide. 43% of first-place winners have gotten into some level of collaboration conversations with their buyers, and only 8% of the second-place did. I have found when working with different organizations, some people have trouble walking over the bridge. You have to hold their hand. They don't get it. They come in with a preconceived notion of what this whole process is going to be, and they need that sales warrior, that sales professional, to walk them through the process so that they know what that agenda is. The next thing that I have up here is, by the way, to the extent that we can take our ideas and allow it to be their ideas, they start buying into it. And if they buy into their ideas, because oftentimes we know what's best for them, but if it doesn't come out of their mouth, it's not going to be our reality. Demonstrate the potential return on investment. Now, wouldn't you agree an accountant would come up with that? But it's also what is the return on time? What impact is that going to have? I loved when we had our previous speaker who went through and said, okay, you really have to find out, based on their behavioral styles, how do you become an advisor to that person? Give them some ideas, walk them through that process. The several people that came to our house to either share a house or to help us build a house, they come in and they actually show you different demonstrations, and they would take out an iPad or some type of equipment and walk you through that process. They come across as more professional. They come across as more of a Rainmaker person, and you're a lot more willing to buy into that when you actually take the time to walk them through that process. One of the things I have found in working with people is that the whole concept of selling continues to change, and it allows us to learn from our customers, and by learning from our customers, it helps us sell to them a lot easier. Critical selling skills, when we're actually doing a presentation, quit going by route. If in fact you're starting to share a story and kind of walk them through a story and a process of similar situations, it seems to help people sell significantly better. Listen to your prospects. We hear that all the time. Unfortunately, most people aren't doing it because our clients are saying, hey, we need people to listen to us more often. I had said earlier that there's this needs, the strong need for PFV, your personal needs, fears, and values. It becomes critical that we're taking the time to find out what what keeps people up late at night. What is their biggest concern when it comes to moving from where they are and buying your home? Living in Texas, I've developed this affinity, if you will, for country western music. I have learned that there's messages in country western music, especially in the song titles. There's a country western song title that goes like this: they're putting in a nickel, but they want a dollar song. How many of you know people put in a little bit of work and want all the rewards? Put in a half day's work, want a full day's pay. I am suggesting as sales warriors, we have to be totally committed to make it work. There's another country western song title I'm having difficulty with. I'm really struggling. I know there's a hidden message in this. It simply says, Mama, quick, grab a hammer. There's a fly on Papa's head. There's a message in there somewhere. I know there's a message in there. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Help me at the break. If y'all know what that message, let me know it is. My favorite country western song title is this: I'm so miserable without you, it's like you're still here. That one kills me. To close, though, I want to give you 4 things from a country western song. There's a country western song that simply says, well, I'm going to ask you to do these 4 things, but I'm also going to ask you not to go anywhere until I explain them. Because if you go somewhere without me explaining them, it could be problematic. There's a country western song that says, drink, swear, steal, and lie. I am going to suggest that if you do this over the next years, I mean, think about it. You have listened to 5 speakers today helping you put together your path for sales warrior success in 2015. And I'm telling you, to be successful, to do that, drink, swear, steal, and lie. Drink from the fountain of friendship. NAHB is your friend in helping you develop different contents, different strategies so that you can grow your business. Swear that you'll focus on the people we serve, those customers that make a difference. Steal a moment every day to help somebody. And then lie. I mean, look at it. We're hanging out here in Las Vegas, having fun, learning, and growing. Lie awake an extra moment and give thanks that we have the opportunity to grow, learn, so that we can become better and help more people. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ed Robinson, the Rainmaker. Thank you.